When you were a kid, a single summer felt like it lasted a lifetime. The school year stretched out forever. The wait for your birthday was almost unbearable. Now you blink and it's December again. You're still writing the wrong year on forms. Whole months vanish without leaving a trace. The strange part is that nothing has actually changed. A day is still 24 hours. A year is still 365 of them. The clock on the wall ticks at the exact same speed it did when you were 7. So why does time feel like it's accelerating? And is there anything you can actually do to slow it back down? Because it turns out the answer isn't really about time at all. It's about you. Start with the oldest explanation and the one most people land on by themselves. Back in 1877, a French philosopher named Paul Janet proposed something elegant. The reason a year feels faster as you age, he said, is simple math. Each year is a smaller slice of the life you've already lived. To a 5-year-old, 1 year is a full fifth of their entire existence, 20%. To a 50-year-old, that same year is 1/50th, just 2%. So the older you get, the smaller each year looms against everything that came before it. By that math, a year should feel about 10 times faster at 50 than it did at 5. It's clean, it's intuitive, and it's probably not the real answer because we don't actually experience an ordinary Tuesday by silently comparing it to our entire lifespan. Nobody sits at lunch thinking, well, this hour is a smaller fraction of my life than it used to be. The math is too tidy to explain a feeling this deep. So researchers went looking for something underneath it, and what they found points at memory. In 1890, the psychologist William James suggested something that still holds up. We don't feel time passing in the moment. We judge how long a stretch of time was after the fact by how many memories it left behind. And childhood is wall to wall with firsts. The first day of school, the first time you saw the ocean, the first kiss, the first bike, the first time you stayed up all night. Your brain records novelty in vivid, high-resolution detail because it has never seen any of it before. All those dense, sharp memories pile up and make the past feel enormous. Then you become an adult and life turns into routine. The same commute, the same week, copy-pasted. And here's the brutal part. Your brain stops bothering to record what it already knows. It runs the familiar stuff on autopilot and saves almost nothing. James put it darkly. The days and weeks smooth themselves out, and the years grow hollow and collapse. Whole years of your adult life disappear in hindsight, not because they were bad, but because almost nothing in them was new enough to write down. You can feel this directly. Think about a week spent somewhere completely new, a trip, a strange city. While you're living it, it's packed and intense, and when you look back, it feels huge, like you were gone a month. Now think about the last ordinary month of your normal life. It evaporates, same 30 days, wildly different lengths in your memory. That's not the clock, that's how much got recorded. The most chilling proof of this came from a neuroscientist named David Eagleman. People who survive terrifying accidents almost always swear the same thing, that time slowed down, that the crash unfolded in slow motion. Eagleman wanted to know if time really does slow in a moment of fear, or if it just feels that way afterward. So he dropped volunteers in a controlled free fall and strapped a special device to their wrists that flashed numbers slightly too fast to read normally. If their perception of time truly slowed, they'd be able to read the numbers during the fall. They couldn't. Time didn't actually slow down for them at all, but their brains, flooded with fear, recorded those few seconds in such dense, frantic detail that looking back, the fall felt stretched and long. The lesson is enormous. The length of time was never about the clock. It was about how much your brain bothered to record. But there's a deeper layer still, and this one is physical. In a paper for the European Review, a Duke University engineer named Adrian Bejan argued that part of the reason is the aging hardware itself. As you get older, your brain physically processes images more slowly. Your eyes flick across the world less often. Your neural signals travel down longer, more worn pathways, and you take in fewer mental snapshots per second. A child's brain samples reality at a faster rate, capturing more frames of each passing moment. So to a child, a single day genuinely contains more perceived experience, more images, more moments, which is why it feels longer. As the hardware slows with age, the frames thin out, and time appears to speed up. A child isn't imagining that the days are longer. In a real sense, they are. And researchers like Jeffrey Sachs at Washington University have added the final piece. Your brain doesn't store life as one smooth, continuous film. It chops experience into discrete events, snipping them apart at what he calls boundaries. Walking into a new room, a conversation ending, a plan changing. And those boundaries are the exact moments your brain decides to save something to long-term memory. A life full of novelty is full of boundaries, which means full of memories, which means time that feels long when you look back. A life of pure routine has almost no boundaries at all. It blurs into one long, unbroken, forgettable smear. So now pull all of it together, because a single thread runs through every one of these explanations. Time feels fast when life stops surprising you. The proportional math, the missing memories, the slowing brain, the vanishing event boundaries, they all point at the same culprit: familiarity. The more your days repeat, the less your brain records, and the faster the years seem to fall away. Which means the speed of time is not entirely out of your hands. You can't undo the proportional math, and you can't fully stop your aging brain from slowing down. But you can fight the part that does the most damage, the routine. Novelty is the cure. New places, new skills, a different route home, anything that forces your brain back into recording mode and lays down fresh, distinct memories. The reason a week of travel outlasts a month of normal life in your memory is the same reason childhood felt infinite. It was new. You can manufacture that feeling on purpose at any age by refusing to let your life run on autopilot. So here's the truth underneath the whole thing. Time isn't actually speeding up. The clock never moved. What changed is how much of the world you still stop to notice, how much of it can still surprise you. And there's an uncomfortable edge to that. The more comfortable, settled, and predictable your life becomes, the faster it slips through your fingers. The safest, smoothest life is also the one that disappears the quickest. So if you ever feel like the years are vanishing, the answer was never to find more time. It was to fill the time you have with things you've never done before. The years feel short because you've already seen it all. And the only real way to slow them down is to keep finding things you haven't.